Okay, where are we at? We had a sensor down in here. It has a 90-degree on the wiring. Clamps right here. It's got a clamp back in there. You guys can see it. What else did I do? Figured out that this wire comes down here to the crankshaft position sensor. I haven't found the home for this clamp yet. I'm wondering if it's supposed to go around here somewhere. It doesn't make any sense down there. There's no other bolt holes, so it's got to go up like that, but we'll figure that out later. But I've got the framework pulled in this front of the shop. I need to get it set up on here. I can put the new radiator on it, the hydraulic cooler, AC condenser that's leaning up right there. Just start getting all this back end put together. And I'm not very far away from being able to fire this thing up. I'll have to put the battery in it still, but we're getting right there. I need to dump oil in some of this stuff. I should probably do that before I set that up there. I can dump it in the top, but it might be easier without that in my way. But that's where we're at, so we'll just keep plugging away. Okay, let's talk about some of the things I've gotten done. It's been falling together really nicely, as you can see. Intercooler's back in here. It plumbs in to the output on the turbo right there. The lower portion comes over, clamps to the alternator, plumbs into the cylinder or the valve cover there. I got the lower hose tight on the hydraulic cooler. Upper hose is tight. Hydraulic oil filters hanging here with this bracket. Coolant tank bolted down to the top of this. I still need to do these 3 hoses down here for the fan. Put the fan on. New radiators installed. AC condensers installed with this bracket here. That's all tight. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see that shiny bolt down in there. These are hinge bolts for the condenser because you can pull this pin and it flops out. If I would have known more about this, I would have had that hung on here, new radiator on here. I probably would have hung all the coolers on here and then put this on there with these bolts, just the 3. That would have saved me some screwing around. It would have swung up in there fine, but that's things you don't know when you didn't get to take it apart. So that's all looking really good. I dumped engine oil in. Things I gotta look for now. I need to find the framework for up here that clamps all this together. I would have thought I had it in the shop, but maybe it's outside in the pile, or maybe I don't have it. But that fuel filter will clamp to it, and then I'll change that filter out. But AC lines are hooked up. This one here, outside one, goes to the top of the condenser, and then the bottom line on the condenser comes way up here to the accumulator. So that's all looking really good. It's falling right together like it should, so I'm gonna keep finding pieces and putting them on. This is why I changed that radiator out. That spout is broke and it's just been damaged. It hadn't been taken very good care of. Looks like somebody patched it right there. This thing was getting hot on him, so he told me. Head gasket went out, and that's why he lost the engine. I don't know if he locked it up, got it hot, whatever, but it was just, with a brand new engine, it just made more sense. Let's put a new radiator, water pump, thermostat in it from the start, and maybe we won't have any issues with it. But we're getting real close to being able to test fire this thing. So I'm gonna keep looking try to find that framework for up there and get these buttoned up, the fan put on, dump hydraulic oil in, and I think I'm gonna be ready to start it. I'll kind of just double check myself here. I got a big plug right here that I haven't found where it goes yet. Need to do some looking for that. And then I've got that plug, a couple other small ones here that all need a home. Some of them have got to be for my backup lights, but I'm not sure which ones, so try to find that stuff too. But I'll bring you guys back when I get closer. Fan's hooked up. It's fairly simple. The small line can only hook up to one port, and then there's two bigger fittings, and the 91 will not go back here without being in the way of that one, so I'm fairly certain that's how that needs to go. Could be wrong, but I think so. Got the fan in place. I was looking around and it looks like he shorted me. There's a framework that hangs in here. Air cleaner box hangs on it. Bolts here and here. So I'm either gonna have to get with the guy I got it from or find a used or a new one or something. But honestly, I think I'm right there. I need to dump some coolant in. Hydraulic oil still. Put that battery in. And I'm thinking I'm right where I need to be to get ready to fire this thing up. I'm kind of nervous, but it's got to happen at some point. This big plug is all the lights on the rear end. There's a harness underneath the hood. So that's simple. But I guess I'm going to get some fluids dumped in and that battery set in there, and I'll bring you back. Replace the air filters before I plumb the air filter housing up. I can't imagine why the engine went out. Filters are cheap, everybody. Put the air cleaner housing in because I think this is a mass airflow sensor. I'm not for sure down here. And then there's an air filter sensor there. So those are both plugged in. Windshield washer pump. It is not plumbed in yet, but it is plugged in, but you can see it's dinged pretty good there. I got a new one of these ordered. Fuel filter still needs changed. I still need to put the battery in. I've got the hydraulic oil full, and it's actually all the way up to here because I expect it to go down when it fills the hydraulic cooler. But I don't have any coolant in the shop right now, so I need to run down the road to the farm and ranch supply and pick some up. Man, I'm awful close. So go get some coolant, then I'll come back, throw the battery in, and we'll try to test fire this pig. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I've got coolant in there, battery's hooked up, all my power turned on when I hooked the battery up because the key was on. So I'm gonna get you guys set up here and we'll crank it over. See if we can hear anything weird and see if we forgot anything. Wish me luck. I don't see any smoke yet. see anything weird though. Let me find a screwdriver and we'll see if we can bleed some air out of the fuel system. I filled that filter with diesel fuel before I put it on there, but well, there's some air in there. Doesn't act like it's doing anything. We'll keep trying here for a little bit. See if we got some more air. Yeah, a little bit. I might crank it over with that open and see if I can get some air out that way. If this is diesel crick, I just hosed this whole thing down with a case of ether and wonder why it didn't pick up fuel. Nothing. We might have to fill that filter again. It's got to fill up the whole entire fuel system. Kind of like a common rail system, I think. And that feels lighter, like it's empty. For just a little bit, but it wasn't sounding right, and it was starting to smoke black, and then I shut it off because I didn't know what was going on. But it did throw a code. I'll bring that up here. See if I can show you guys. I don't think that it was let's see. Remember what I'm doing here. I don't think that it needed the fuel bled anymore. I think that was right. Active codes. This guy right here, 920.05. And that leads me to like engine, computer, and it's saying like a bad connection could cause that in the wiring. And I'm wondering if I didn't get water in the connectors when I wash this thing out. So I'm gonna raise the cab again, and I'm going to blow them out with air. But I'm gonna clear this code before I do. So if I fix it, then I know. I think you're supposed to hold this for 5 seconds. And that fixes, or that clears it. Let's see, active codes. Didn't clear it. Maybe I do need to blow it out first. Let's give that a try. So I'm back here in the belly of the beast. And I've got these two boxes here. And I'm betting one of them is the computer. And that one there says engine control. So that's where I'm betting my problem is water in these connections. But I might just pull them all off and blow them out. But one thing I forgot is I'm gonna unhook that battery before I do. I got it unplugged. I didn't see any moisture in here, but I did blow it out with compressed air. What you want to do, let's see if I can show it. Where is it? That tab. Push in on that with a pick. That'll allow this to cam over past there. Make sure it cams over all the way, and these back themselves out. You don't want to break that tab off, otherwise it won't lock into place. And I'm gonna do this other one too, put it all back together, hook the battery back up, and we'll try it. Okay, it's blown out, back together. Let's give it another try. Let's hook up the battery first. Now we're ready, maybe. That's what it did before. It's like it gets going and then it starts missing and it starts over fueling for some reason. So what's causing that? It doesn't sound bad right now. So is it gonna be happy and just take off running? I'm gonna go try to give it some throttle and see if it does anything. It seems a lot happier now. I don't know, maybe there was some moisture in those connections. The hand throttle works and the foot throttle works. I'd like to get in there and set the boom down so I don't have to deal with it up in the air anymore, and I think that's what I'll do. Let's see if it'll let me put the boom down. I'm gonna let it get up to temp, open my shop up so I don't asphyxiate myself, and just let her get warmed up. Check this out. I got it up to temp. It was sounding good. It didn't do that bogging down deal again. So let's try to start it now that I've had it shut off. Fired up pretty good. Even sounds pretty good, I think. I got a bunch of alarms or codes stored. I still have that one active one. I need to figure out how to clear it. But that's gonna be a job for tomorrow. I got stuff coming into the shop tomorrow, so I'd like to get this back into place. I need to get the bolts back in the finals so I can move it. I did try moving it back and forth a little, and I could feel it tugging at it. I got both speeds like I should. So I think it's gonna work.